Welcome to fifth session of Mathematics Paper 2 Calculus 1.2 for the BSc first year students. Okay, in the previous 4 sessions we learned about the differentiation or nth derivative of the standard functions. Today's session we are going to discuss about the statement and proof of Leibniz theorem and its examples. Okay, well, Leibniz theorem, what is the use of Leibniz theorem means? In the previous 4 sessions we learned about the standard nth derivatives, standard function. It is not a general statement. We are going to concentrate only on a to the power of mx or x to the power of n or log of ax plus b or sin of ax plus b or cos of ax plus b or e power ax into sin of ax plus bx plus c and cos functions. Okay, now observe what is the use of Leibniz theorem. First, I want to introduction about the Leibniz. Leibniz is a German mathematician. He worked a lot on the differential calculus. He is a German mathematician. Born in 1st July 1646. He died on 14th November 1716. He parallelly worked on the differential calculus along with Newton. Okay, what is the statement of Leibniz theorem is? It is a very simple statement. If u and v are the two functions of x having an nth derivatives of order, or you can take a nth derivatives of nth order, and you have the two functions means you are multiplying. Okay, just observe here, you have the nth derivative of e power x and nth derivative of x to the power of n, but we don't have x to the power of n into e power x nth differentiation. Means it is understood, if you take individually you have the nth derivative, but when multiplying these two there is no such standard result for nth differentiation. In this case you are going to apply the Leibniz theorem. That is the reason is given very clearly. U and v are the two functions of x having the derivatives of nth order. You are multiplying these two, y is equal to uv. Observe the result. It is a very simple. Yn is equal to means multiplication of un uv dot v of n. Okay, nc naught binomial coefficients u1 into means the nth differentiation of first function into the second function as it is nc1 into un minus 1, the reduce the derivative of the first function and increase the derivative of the second function. Similarly, continue this procedure here. Okay, at the end you can observe we are beginning with un v. At the end we can observe here, okay, what is the final term is we can appear ncn u into beginning it is an un, now it is become u, the last beginning at the v, now the last term is vn. This is the statement of Leibniz theorem. We can put like this. Another form is also, instead of you are writing nc naught un v, we can write here nc naught uvn. Just make a ulta for these two terms. Okay, next we get a last term is, instead of writing ncn u vn, we are writing an un v, both are same. Okay, next once I repeat the statement of a Leibniz theorem. If u and v are the two functions of x having a derivatives of nth order, we can put and y is equal to uv. These are the statement. Now we can write the proof of the Leibniz theorem. The proof is very simple. The Leibniz theorem proof can be done by using a mathematical induction. What are the steps in the mathematical induction is, we can put an n is equal to 1. It is the first step of mathematical induction, means you are going to identify or find the result for n equal to 1. It is an unique. The next result you are going to generalize n is equal to m number of terms. From this you can extend the results for n is equal to m plus 1. These are the steps you are going to following in the mathematical induction. For in this case, in the proof of the Leibniz theorem, the first step, observe the result, the first step is, you are written very clearly the y is equal to uv. We are taking first step means n is equal to 1, means you are, this is an u into v is a product rule. U into v1 differentiation, first function into differentiation of the second function, second one is v into u1, means that okay, u v1 means it is understood binomial coefficient is nc naught, here is binomial coefficient ncn. nc naught is 1, ncn is also 1. We can write it as u v1 v un. Observe the result, y1 is equal to u v1 and v un. It proves that the above theorem is proved for mathematical by using a mathematical induction for n is equal to 1. Okay, let us assume this theorem is true for n is equal to m also. I written very clearly. What it means here, wherever n in the above statement, just you can replace it n by m. We get a statement like this. Same thing, nc naught, instead of you are writing mc naught, u n means um into v and so on, we are writing the same, just replacement of n by m. Then after this, the very complicated step will start. You have to prove this. The next step, n is equal to m. From this we can prove this, n is also is equal to m plus 1, means we can above step means nc naught umv should differentiate each and every term by using product rule. For this differentiation, observe the step here. I am using the first term differentiation. Previously it is an MC naught, means NC naught means MC naught are written as it is. The first two functions apply the product rule. Um nothing but um plus 1, differentiation of the first term, keep this second term as it is. The next term is the first term as it is, the differentiation of the second function is v1. Similar way we can differentiate each and every term of the statement of the Leibniz theorem. We get many number of terms here. We have to take up to the nth term. We get many number of terms. After that you could collect the according to the coefficients. According to the coefficient means first collect the term having m plus n coefficient by using these properties. Observe the result. You have the combination chapter we learned already in the second PU. Okay, next observe here. These are the results we learned in the second PU. M plus 1 or NC naught, both are same value. We can write it as this is equal to 1, or MCN or m plus 1 Cn. M plus 1 is also equal to 1. MCR minus 1 plus MCR, it is always written as m plus 1 CR for r equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. By using this result in the above step, finally we can get the term like this. Above statement becomes, after using these number of identities here, ym plus 1, actually we started with y equal to m, now we are going to write it as ym plus 1. Okay, we can write it as u dot v into m plus 1 c naught by using this property, and again um plus 1 v, um plus 1 c1 um v1 and so on. We can write like this. Final step here, m plus 1 c1 um plus 1, general term it is m plus 1 c m plus 1 u vm plus 1. It means that it is very clear, wherever n is become m, the later wherever n is become m plus 1. It is understood the theorem is also true for n is equal to m and as well as n is equal to m plus 1. Okay, hence we can say that the result is true for all positive values of n, hence the proof. This is proved by using a mathematical induction method. Okay, once I repeat the steps. This theorem is true for n is equal to 1. Next theorem n equal to m. From this we can say that n equal to m plus 1. This is the proof of a Leibniz theorem. It is a very simple proof, just like it is a binomial theorem. To confirm this statement of the theorem, I will take a very simple example here. Okay, now we can take, I am taking an nth derivative of x into sin 3x. Okay, what it means here, you are taking the functions x into sin 3x, you have the two functions, there is no standard result for nth derivative for x sin 3x. Individually you can consider here u is equal to x and v is equal to sin 3x. But if you have u is equal to x have the nth derivative and v is equal to sin 3x is also an nth derivative. For this I am always preferably taking in the Leibniz theorem, the x is an reducible function. What is the reducible function? We can observe here. U equal to x, after differentiating the first step itself it become a 1. If you differentiate second step it become a 0. That is when continuously differentiate, the above function become reduces towards a 0 or it has a value. Okay, next function, observe the result. A v is equal to a sin 3x. We can differentiate n times or 10 times or 100 times. The sin 3x is never equal to a 0 or real value. That is why it is called a non-reducible function. Preferably in the Leibniz theorem, we are going to choose like this. U is always a reducible function and v is also a non-reducible function. Okay, now we can start with a solution. What is the nth difference? It is a very simple method. Okay, what is the Leibniz says that nc naught into first function x into nth differentiation of a second function. It is the individual, you can write nth derivative of sin ax plus b can be written as a to the power of n means 3 to the power of n into sin of bx plus n pi by 2, I written as n pi by 2 very clearly. You can observe here 3 power n into sine of bx plus or ax plus n pi by 2. First function is written as it is because nc naught is 1. I written already final step. Okay, next term nc1 means next step. First function, what is the next term of a Leibniz theorem is nc1 into u n minus 1. Okay, next value is you are differentiating the reducible function first, before that u. Now you are going to differentiation of the first function x is 1 here, I am not written here. What is the next reducible function nc1 is 1, I written is n here, 1 here. The next is reduce the derivative of the previous function 3 to the power of n becomes, again you observe the result 3 to the power of n minus 1 into sine of 3x plus n minus 1 into pi by 2 because you are reducing. What about the next step? Plus we can take next step, suppose nc2 differentiation of the previous function, reducible function, already we have the constant. The constant differentiation is, next step is 0. That is the reason stop the procedure of the Leibniz theorem and you can get this is the final solution. Once I repeat, whatever the function you are chosen a reducible function where it is tending to a 0, then stop the procedure. This is the final solution for this. Okay, you can take next step, then you can clear. Okay, now observe the result for the second example here. Okay, that is x square e power x cos x. We have the 3 terms here. You have to make the pair in such a way that you should have standard nth derivative results. X square you have the nth derivative result. E power x into cos x is also nth derivative result, and e power x into cos x is also individually nth derivative results, but there is no such proof for x square e power x cos x Leibniz theorem. You can take only 2 pair here. That is the reason I am taking like this. X square is a one term, e power x into cos x is another term because you have the nth order derivative formula. I am choosing x square is a reducible function. You can differentiate twice, automatically x square become a 0. Okay, you can take a v is equal to e power x cos x is never is equal to 0. You can apply the Leibniz theorem for the above function. It is very clear. The first function I am choosing an x square. Okay, non-reducible function nc naught is 1 here, I am not written. X square is over. Okay, next e power x into cos x nth differentiation is b is equal to 1 and a is equal to 1 means 1 square plus a square plus b square whole to the power of n by 2 can be written as, here is very clearly 2 to the power of n minus 2 because you are writing after simplification. The first term is becomes 2 to the power of n by 2 actually into what is the value of this is x square into nth derivative of e power x means e power x as it is cos of bx plus c plus n into cos of b by a. Cos of b by a means when a is also 1, b is also 1, it is an n pi by 4. I think I written a very clearly, this is the result. Okay, similarly we have to continue this procedure of the Leibniz theorem. nc1 is the next term, differentiation of x square is an 2x in the next term. Again we have to reduce the second term n minus 1 derivatives, we can write here, plus the next term is the differentiation of the previous term. Now reducible function is 2x is there, differentiation of 2x is a 2, again reduce the second term with n by n minus 1 by n minus 2. If we expect the fourth term, because the differentiation of the previous reducible function is 2 is 0, then stop the procedure. This is the final solution by applying the Leibniz theorem. Okay, one conclusion is that always preferably choose the function in the Leibniz theorem. One is reducible function, one is non-reducible function. Should remember this. Okay, next I come to the revision of this Leibniz theorem. We can go through this are the 2 assignment problems. The nth derivative e power x into 2x plus 5 whole cube. Observe the result, e power x is a non-reducible function, 2x plus 5 whole to the power of 3 is a reducible function. After the third order derivative, it becomes tending to a constant term. Okay, next second example is x cube into e power ax. X cube is a reducible function, e power ax is a non-reducible function. Choose u is equal to x cube. After third order derivative, the x cube becomes it is a number or it is tending to a 0, a constant. Finally, easily you can get up to the third term extension of Leibniz theorem. It is also third term because it decided on the basis of reducible function power. 3 is there, 3. Okay, this is the method you can follow this. Okay, just you have to check, just to recall this chapter or a session. Okay, Leibniz belongs to which country? It is a very simple question. It belongs to a France or Germany, USA or Russia. In the previous in the beginning of the Leibniz theorem we discussed about it belongs to a Germany. Okay, right answer is B, it is a Germany. Okay, next second question is very clear. Leibniz theorem is proved by using which technique? It is a mathematical induction or analytical method or numerical technique or none of the above. It is very clear in the beginning itself we defined in the proof it is by using a mathematical induction. Okay, we come to the third question. The value of nth derivative of x to the power of n. I think it is a very simple result we discussed in the last previous 4 slides. The nth derivative of x to the power of n is the first solution is mentioned here, n factorial, second option is 1, third option is x and fourth option is an n. The very clearly the nth differentiation of x to the power of n is n factorial. Okay. From this we can conclude here, we can refer the same books for the Leibniz theorem also, a textbook of mathematics by Ranganath and college mathematics by N. Rudraya and a higher engineering mathematics by B. S. Grewal. Okay, we will meet in the next session.